So if I was to speak this way for the rest of the entire episode, what would you do? Would you comment? Would you like it? Would you dislike it? It's up to you, and it's really up to me whether or not I want to stop this nonsense. But I don't know. I feel more British in the morning. I guess it's the crappy coffee. And, you know, the having to get up early bullshit, that really pushes me over the ethnic edge to where I'm British again, you know. I've got the first third colony syndrome where it kicks back in and I just can't stop it. It's relentless. It's pain in my side, people. You don't even know what it's like to have multiple voices inside your jugular, your voice box, just waiting to pop out. You never know which one's really gonna work. You meet one person, they think you're Russian. You meet another, they think you're British. Then you meet someone else, and they think you're fucking schizo. So it's not the easiest thing to do, but it's, you know, it's what happens. It's my condition. It's my condition that I suppose I will have to get over by running so many times. How many times is it gonna take? Before I die and have to run again and again and again and again. I think it's these hills. These hills are bleak and dreary, just like the cloudy days back home in England. Back in Liverpool, I think that's where this voice came from. This is probably somewhat of the gorilla's fault to blame, but you know, we're not throwing blame, we're just taking observations. Those gloomy hills, though, it's not the way to get your morning started. Unfortunately, the morning's really the best time when my roommate goes to breakfast that I have the opportunity to record, but, you know, seeing these bleak and trapped hills in the morning is just... it's awakening something within myself that is unstoppable. Okay, it's not really unstoppable. I can switch it off right here. But these things happen. I'm not lying to you in the least bit. I really, in the morning, talk to myself in that sort of fashion. I guess I do it so that I don't feel as crazy, right? Yeah, I would suppose that's the reason, because talking to yourself is seen as a sort of strange misnomer. So I figure, hey, if I'm talking to myself in another voice, then it's not really me, so I can continue to have conversations with myself. And then that's when I realize, hey, I should probably hit record when I'm talking to myself, because that makes videos! Yes! In the age of YouTube, talking to yourself is no longer a strange, psychotic meltdown sort of a thing. It's content generation. Interestingly, I noticed that there are no clones of the characters. Just for a third take, you look at that, nobody's at the checkpoint gate. Why? Not that none of our comrades here wanted to make our running more lonely, but we're running with the Tin Can Man, and he is the one who stands at the checkpoint. Okay, so do not try to slide kick asteroids, and don't fall off the rails. Yeah, that's a probably good thing to do. Yeah, that would help out in getting the high scores and, you know, actually completing a level. Oh, and be careful. I always, every time I see a jump pad, I'm like, programmed. They did a good job at programming me to hit the W button, to hit the go up on the pad button, because I always want to take that spring pad up to the next level, even if I know it's a red path, or even if I see that there's a big honkin' lock there that I don't have the key to. It's just too tantalizing not to touch that button. Oh, I tell ya. I tell ya. Are we going to go to the vault? Probably not. Probably not. These are brutal levels. The difficulty just keeps escalating. And I don't know when it's gonna stop. Fuck. Those mid-air enemies or asteroids or whatever the fuck they want to put in front of my face, it's really bothersome. I don't even know how you get that gold. I'm not gonna try this episode, but you'd have to, like, at the very last split second that you're about to hit helmet head there, go into your slide position. After, of course, you ching, you got the good old gold. What? Oh, can't stop me. I'm a sliding fool. Yeah. But now they are really keeping things tight on these levels. You gotta jump down, jump up, beam paddle, and forget what you're doing because you're talking about other things that are not what you should be doing, like kick. Or you're dancing and you can't stop because, you know, dancing is infectious. And I think I caught the bug originally from Mirror B. You know, watching him dance every episode that we encountered him, I was quite envious. I wish I could dance everywhere I go without having to be, without having to worry about being arrested for being a loon, you know. I'm sure somebody would eventually call the police. Yeah, we've got a rogue dancer here on campus. Not sure what he's dancing to. There's no music anywhere, so you might want to lock this guy up before he does something more drastic than dancing. I don't know, it's your call. So I could not really be fully infected with Mirror B's disease in real life. Runner fixes everything. You can dance night and day, and all that's going to happen is penalties of death. But not death. Penalties of being swung back to the beginning or the checkpoint, wherever you decide to dance. Because rhythm aliens never die. No, of course not. Not even if they explodify themselves into a large Timbletot structured machine. Which, I don't know, I've talked about the ending of Bit Trip Fate so many times, I feel as though it's already ruined, unless you want to go see that video. Which is in the playlist, but somebody said the playlist didn't work. I'd like more specification on that. Did the playlist itself not work, or did the video just not show up? It's pretty funny how each character, you know, they get whisked back to the beginning in their own way. Like the robot guy here, he gets fired back kind of like a spinning missile. No, jeez. I just want to get through that. I hate those slide jump enemies in the way. Perfect. There we go. Ho ho! Tricky, tricky. They wanted me to take the high road. So let's take the high road. Maybe the high road's easier. Yeah, look at that. It auto-jumped for us. We didn't even have to slide. The game's trying to tell you something when it makes it that difficult to go down there. Oh, and if we took the upper road, make sure you get your kick! Or your headbutt if you're working as the fish. All set. Yeah, but I remember Commander Video's animation for being sent back to the beginning of this level is his arms flailing uncontrollably. This guy, he's got his own animation. No! And it's really nice to see. I love the customization of all the enemies and all the areas you go into. Each area's got its own personality and flair, and all the enemies, even though you've seen them before and you know what they're going to do because you've seen them before, and that's kind of part of ramping up the challenges and difficulty, introducing you to new elements slowly one by one, and then reinventing them every time you go down another world, like this. Putting them in situations where you thought, that jump would have been impossible! Not one world ago, because I wouldn't have known what to do, but now I do. So that's layering on of difficulty. And we got 32. Bummer. So that's actually something, depending on when this episode comes out, I don't know time-wise when this can all happen, but I've been in contact with Alex Noisy, the creator of Bit Trip Runner 2. And he's down for an interview with his comrade, so if you have any questions that you'd like answered about the indie video game industry or just Bit Trip Runner, the Bit Trip series in general, then post in the comments below. Hopefully, by the time you see this, it wouldn't have already happened. And I'm thinking it probably won't, because I don't think I'll have the time until after spring break is done, because I got some things to do back in the homeland, and I'm not talking about the UK. No, I'm talking about Jersey, so I'll be doing that. And it's a cool opportunity whenever an awesome game developer that you appreciate their game wants to come down from the heights of programming to talk about their experience. Because, you know, so many times, I've mentioned it before, us gamers love to complain, and, you know, we can review shit all day, but, you know, the case in point is, without these programmers, we would not have anything to bitch about. We'd have to be bitching about real-life things, like, I don't know, poverty and hunger, and who wants to complain about real-life subjects, you know? I wanna complain that my game mechanics are not to the utmost standard of what I expect from them. Even though I did no sort of programming in the process to help them out, I feel as though I'm justified in grilling them a new one. But really, everyone has that kind of opinion here. At least in America, they have that view with almost everything. It's funny when people who don't do any sort of live performance try to say what someone should have done live, whether it's MMA fighting or stand-up comedy or music. Well, I could have strummed that guitar better. You don't even play an instrument. What are you talking about? So it's very cool when we get to be on the same level of those people, because Alex obviously started out as a gamer himself. So he's probably recognized a dream that a lot of us have, those who are watching, you know, to actually make our own game. So much more difficult than you think. I had a crack at it back in high school with RPG Maker briefly, and even that, you know, RPG Maker is a really well fleshed out kind of main HUD for creating an RPG, but even that was difficult, and all the programming and testing that you had to do to make sure that everything worked out. Like, I'm serious, even walking through doorways would sometimes make the level catastrophically fail, or it would trigger your character to walk through everything else, like, oh, okay, since this value was set to that's a funny animation for being sprung up. Since this animation was set to he can walk through this area, that means everything in this room can be walked through, right? No, not right at all. So that will be a certainly awesome interview. Really cool to catch up with him, so do comment below. I will definitely take any feedback that you guys give me. And we were an inch away from landing on that extra costume. Too bad, oh to sad. And that seems to be a good stopping point for the episode. We still have a bunch more of the lava world to go through, the mounting sads, as the world is called. So we will see what it has to offer in the next episode.